What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second,
Brand new
hit like,
week.
subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
New week. But bigger than that, it is training camp kickoff week, guys. And today, the Dallas Cowboys, as you guys may have seen in our earlier video, arrived at training camp and arrived at their hotel. We'll put it that way, all right? We're just the first days in, but there is some big news. So we're going to discuss it all here tonight on My Cowboys Family. A new week, new representation, question mark? Well, kind of halfway on that board. Baby, we got to always, aside from hitting that like out there, everybody, hit that subscribe and that notification bell, all that good stuff. We got to shout out the people that make the world go around here.
Of
My
course.
Cowboys Family, starting off with the sponsor of the week. Back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. You know who it is.
Skeptical fan.
Yes.
Much love to him, of course. Also representing as the membership man here.
Yes, he's got 41 memberships gifted already at a new world record. Here on MCF it is. So much love to the Skeptical fan as he's, leading there. And, he's back to back. I think the first time in his life here on MCF. So appreciate him. As always, man, he's always given so much to the channel in multiple different ways. Big shout out to Skeptical fan. But that's not where it stops because you got the man Mark Hosepian. 40 points on that stream, boss. A little bit in the danger zone, that red zone. But we'll see what happens. He's held that down for like 18 weeks out of 20 weeks. So Mark's been dominating it there. And we got ourselves, I think, the first time ever for the Q-Man, Justin Quarles, to be the Cash App King. Yes, he's wearing that crown. Won a tiebreaker against SnugX. Outlasted Jason Renfro. Justin Quarles, the Q-Man, always the love. He's one of the OGs here. Appreciate you as always, and rep that crown. I know he always does that great. Now, as far as leaders are concerned, Jason Renfro, who has 4 gifted memberships, much love on that side of things for Jason. He's also the leader currently, kicking off a new week. Yes, before the stream, the man popped in there a dollar holler, if I'm not mistaken.
Woo!
Appreciate him.
Thank you, Jason, of
Jason
course.
Renfro. He's always guarding that crown. So appreciate him. We know he gets down. Now, there's other ways of dropping love, not just super chats, membership jumping, joining the membership levels. There's the gifting membership ways as well. And there's, of course, a thanks button. You can do that at any of our videos once they're uploaded, posted, or, finished going live. But we also have 4 other ways to help the channel out, guys.
You do have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and Streamlabs lets your comment show up right here on screen, just like a super chat.
So all different ways. Some international, family here with the repping that star over everything, like Lincoln Kane LC, who is a star level member here, along with Skeptical Fan, who's our back-to-back sponsor of the week, along with Jason Renfro, who's in the lead in the Cash App. Some ballers out here. Don't forget the great Dwayne Broussard. He's an OG as well on here. And Mary Alvarez. Yes, the lady of the star level. Appreciate all 5 of you guys in that top shelf level membership where, soon. So appreciate everybody. And baby, now it's time for the shout outs in the chat as we kick off a brand new week. And it is a brand new season now. Off season is over. It's time to move on to the training camp season. I'm ready. You ready?
The final countdown.
I'm ready.
That's
Let's go.
it, guys. We made it through the off season. Shout out to Rolando Rodriguez, Scorpio. By the way, shout out to you, man. My heart goes out to you and your family right now. We got Bruce got the toxic juice in the house. Mike Lay, Frame Rippers representing.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboy 92. Cameron, Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett, Texas Twister, Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, Mari Roberts, Jason Renfro, much love.
Yeah.
Remy Solis. We have, is that as far back as I can go? It looks like that is as far back as I can go. So we have Lead Commander, hello and hi. Again, thank you for everybody here joining us. We won't make you wait.
I'm going back a little bit farther for you, baby. I think you got Dwayne Broussard. I don't know if you got him. Got Freedom First.
Nope. I think he's the only one I missed.
No, he's first. By the way, again, he did it again. So, everybody, thank you for joining us here for another one, another year of training camp, right? And listen, it kicks off today, but the first practice is not till Wednesday. So, everyone, please understand that's the scheduling right now. That's the way it goes. We've been saying this though for like the last month since it's been announced. So, it shouldn't be a surprise to those that have been on the nightly listening here.
Exactly.
Now,
Chris Plumage, what's up?
Yeah, the Plumes.
And again, guys, shout out to everybody here. Thanks for chilling with us.
Yes, we
And yes.
appreciate every single one of you guys here. Rolling into a new season, the new G's, the OGs.
Drums and Cowboys, hello.
Yes.
You said the 956 in the house.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. But let's start it off with NFL news. Real quick. NFL today confirmed that Ioma Uzuzuki, I hope I'm saying his name right, from the Denver Broncos has been suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games last year. He will be eligible to petition for reinstatement no earlier than July 24th, 2024. So another guy bites the dust when it comes to the gambling situation, right? He's off there. So it's too bad, These guys got to learn eventually, right? Now, a significant injury happened, and it wasn't on the football field, believe it or not, even though some training camps have opened. The Bills running back, Nyheim Hines, we talked about him yesterday in the Zoom call with the running backs. Now we know why he was front and center. He suffered a significant knee injury off-site on his own, right? On his own time. Expected to now miss the entire 2023 NFL season. Major tough break for the Bills. Versatile running back who was acquired at the trade deadline last fall. He was their primary punt returner, kickoff returner, and definitely a piece of their running game. So big loss for them there. What happened was he was sitting stationary, not moving on a jet ski in the water somewhere, a lake or who knows, right? But he's allowed to do that, I think, right? In his contract, I don't know. Some contracts don't allow bike, motorcycle riding and that kind of stuff. But he was on a jet ski. He was not.
We can't really talk too much crap. We saw Dak riding his own water sport situation thing, which he actually flipped off of.
Yeah, the raft, him, Gallup went flying. What if they... probably nothing's going to happen. What if something tore? What if...
Look, it seems like everyone made the camp in one piece, but
for
somehow
the Cowboys,
Hines,
we're good.
just sitting on a jet ski in the middle of the water somewhere, got hit by a jet ski.
Exactly. He got hit by another rider, another jet ski rider, and they rammed into him. He was just sitting there. It freaking demolished his leg, I'm assuming. Again, serious injuries, not life-threatening injuries, but he's going to require surgery, I'm pretty sure on his knee or his leg, and he's going to miss the entire 2023 NFL season. It's just horrible to hear something like that happen to an NFL player. Hence why you have, guaranteed money and clauses and contracts for these kind of situations that may happen, just freak accidents, right? So that's the situation there as far as the Bills running back injury list there. The Lions have an injury situation with new veteran slot nickel corner C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They got him from the Eagles. Mm-hmm. He was one of their big signings. He went down with a right leg injury today and was carted off the field. He was visibly upset. The captains, like Jared Goff, made it a point to go over and comfort him. Aaron was hoping for good news on this. They did get an MRI back on him. It was good news. No structural damage to his knee. He's considered day-to-day at this time. So good for CJ.
We already popped the injury cherry, so to speak, as far as heart attacks go, because, man, that's the one thing that I kind of forgot about the football season starting. That means that players can get hurt now because...
Yeah, hey, that's why I'm always knocking on wood over here. So
and after Lyle Collins, too, surprising us by showing up to camp with, by the way, my hip is messed up and now I need surgery. Yeah. It's like, what?
Off the COVID situation, off season, he probably wasn't doing too much work out there. Then car accident, then hip, then surgery.
I need everybody to pass their physicals, be good to go, healthy, out there, doing whatever they're supposed to do, and maybe more players healthy than we expect.
Hopefully, here's the hope. All that off-season training, the staff at the Cowboys, the strength and conditioning staff, they've been pretty damn good in recent years. That will hopefully make these guys survive a little longer with a bad tweak or a bad, slip here or whatever. It won't be so bad if, as if maybe it was with the prior strength and conditioning coaching staff, in the offseason workout kind of situation. So, look, right now, just knocking on wood, we haven't hit the field yet. We're not going to hit it till Wednesday. Tomorrow they do physicals. You might hear something from somebody on a PUP list tomorrow, but we'll talk about that today. But tomorrow, that's going to be the check-in. Then Wednesday, slip, fall here and there. They missed a couple of days of training camp, so it's time to be really aware about that. Now, the Lions, that wasn't it with the Lions news. The Lions hosted free agent quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, and no signing yet, but they're staying in touch. So we'll see what happens there. Just curious, the backup to Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater, not a bad downgrade. The Washington Commanders, new ownership. They're kind of making new moves. As we here discussed on MCF about 2 months ago, we talked about the Washington Commanders were thinking about releasing their starting guard, Andrew Norwell. It happened today. Not a surprise. We kind of knew that here in MyCowboysFamily. It was what guy we were looking at maybe signing. Now, Dalton Reisner out of the lineup there, out of the running, I say. that was my guy. Some kind of knee injury is not. No one's signing him, especially for the price. But no one's touching him. So Norwell's an option now. He's been released. Remember, last year he started 16 games for the Washington last year. Also, remember, Washington, the Commanders didn't have a great offensive line either. But he's officially out there. I know I think he's a better run blocker than a pass blocker. But he's really, it's really a bigger fall off than Reisner in his best days. So that would be almost like a Farniak for a Farniak. I don't know. Like that's the Cowboys were sick with Farniak, with their Farniak, over getting him Norwell. Commanders also signed a kicker we talked about, Michael Bagley. Remember, he was released. Pretty sure it was up at the Lions, I think. Commanders, they signed him after the workout, guys. They're going to give their kicker, Joey Sly, some competition. Joey Sly wasn't the best kicker. And what do you do when you don't have a great kicker? You bring in actual competition. And we brought in USFL kicker Brandon Aubrey. I'm hoping he could give, Vizcaino a boot, the boot out of camp, and get a consistent kicker in there. But Michael Bagley is a veteran. Washington wasted no time with that signing. So again, they released the guy that we knew they were going to release eventually. They signed a guy that's going to help competition on special teams for them when it comes to kicker. So not bad moves there.
Yeah,
with the
see them, like you said, settling into their ownership there.
Yeah. So the new ownership, Josh Harris,
we have
and
a
all
lead
them.
Commander in the chat as well, so he can speak to the ownership or maybe lack thereof currently.
Well, in the past, I think no matter what, I think it's a whole new. It's unfortunate for the rest of the East. Also unfortunate for the Commanders. They still suck.
He just said, stay away from Norwell. Our O-line was bad last season, and he was the worst one.
So there you go. And again, even though I guess it's weird to me, you guys stuck with him, the worst guy on the line, the whole season, 16 games. That's the question mark. But look, the point is, we looked about him a couple months ago that you guys are probably going to release him. Now it's happened. I still think it's a no-go from my side of things because to me he's equal to a Farniak. And I know the front office, they're going to stick with their own guys rather than go with a released guy they got to pay a little extra money for.
Double R, what's up? Rolando Rodriguez said, you put bubble wrap around the Cowboy vets. Famer said, training camp reminds me of the start of the school year. Healthy all summer, but now I'm sick. All of a sudden,
the first germs, right?
Yeah,
the first
you
germs
step on the field, you're like, ah. So actually, that's probably a good way of thinking of it. Something about being around all these other Cowboys makes injuries contagious. Anyway, back to you, baby.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that was it. Just a
cool.
little.
I love
comment pit stop there.
And you guys know how to stop us as well, right? Great comment, great quote of some sort in the chat. Dropping the love. We will pause the show to answer your question. Now, yesterday there was 7. I gotta count. I've missed it. 7 Sundays before our game, Sunday Night Football, guys. So we're less than 7 weeks away from meaningful Dallas Cowboy football. Fantastic. Now, by the way, also I should pop up the schedule. So if you look at the schedule here, you're seeing week 1 there at less than 7 Sundays away. Yay. And week 2 against the Jets, who, by the way, baby, this coming season, again, another team putting out another uniform. The Jets' legacy white uniform is what it's called, where they're kind of all white with the green trim, green numbers. They're going to wear that week 1, so not for us, and week 4. That's what the Jets are doing. Well, we get them week 2. And we do have the announcers for that game. Tony Romo is going to be sitting in the booth there. So Romo, Jim Nantz, Tracy Wolfson. That's the crew for the Week 2 game against the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
And shout out to Clawson Boy.
Woo!
Thank you.
Another
Skeptical fan
one.
gifting another membership there.
Much love to you, Skeptical fan. Always appreciate you. By the way, that puts him into first place. 42 gifted memberships for the month. What can I say?
Thank you so much, Skeptical fan. Much love always with the Go Cowboys, and that's why.
Hell yeah, man.
He's the membership man.
That is why. That is also our back-to-back sponsor of the week. Shouting him out. You can't ever do it enough when it comes to guys like him and others out there. Jason Renfro's, Marco Sepians, and on and on and on. The Dwayne Broussards and, Ron the Don. What's his name? I can't believe Ron the Don Smith, yes. And others, Siri Cupid, old school. So many names. I would never remember them all, but can't do this with legends like you guys. The true all-time, sponsors of this channel. So thank you guys for that. Thank you, Skeptical fan. Let me update the board, baby.
Yeah.
You'd help a comment or two, I guess.
G. Mad at Cole Beasley.
Oh.
Skeptical fan said, Navy blue is stacked and crowded. Might need to knock a wall down to make a room.
We do have this is, I think we lose 2 people today, so we're probably 2 more away right now, I guess you'd say, to reach our all-time high. And I think we're about 14 memberships away to open up another segment of what the YouTube allows us, which would mean, I think, more emojis. At least 1 more emoji for sure. So we'll get there eventually, I'm sure, guys.
Oh, so, and of course, if you do just want to hop into the membership yourself, guys, again, the link is pinned there, but let me go ahead and actually...
Yeah, there's a way of you guys can put that exclamation point, and you can then see the info there directly right there in the house and check it out yourself.
Yeah, so Bruce got the Toxic Juice said, from this point on, every Sunday until season end, we'll have football activity.
Hell yeah.
There's a tear to my eye.
I freaking love it. I can't...
Truly beautiful.
Excited about this, guys, and...
Thomas Garrett, that's awesome. He's going to be at that Jets-Cowboys game, confirmed 100% by his cousin. Have fun. And actually, perfect timing there, because what we're going to say might be at least Cowboy-Jet adjacent.
Yet again.
As I like to say. But yeah, honestly, I will say that does seem to be one of the more exciting games of the season.
That Jet 2 against...
Can I take a quick side note here to complain about all the... Is it late enough in the stream that I can curse? I think so. Can I bitch about all the motherfuckers out there who are giving the Cowboy records like 9 and something, 10 at the most? Like,
I find that very, very... Unless it's a major injury or 2.
And I've seen it a few times. Happening. Pretty much everyone and their mom is like, okay, one thing to say the Eagles will win the division, sure. But they keep, like, really insulting us with our record, and I keep seeing it consistently to the point where now I'm just like, what the heck
I don't know.
is in the water where these people look at our team and say
with the way that the NFC conference is, not the East, but the NFC, we're one of the best teams in there, no doubt, one of the best teams in the league, yet it's all right, let them disrespect us. I like that. We bring the best game for the Cowboys. Now, I see Cue Ball saying, we should be an Oxnard. We can't make that, but we are making that Week 8 game against the LA Rams. We'll be there with the family, the full family, repping that star for everything. That's not going to be that's not really an MCF trip. That's a family trip. But of course, it is always intertwined with MCF.
Our kids
we'll be
have
going
never
live.
Been to a Dallas Cowboy
Never.
game.
This is our first one.
And, both kids are getting on in years, so to speak. So
they get ready to go to college. So we got to get them to one of these Cowboy games before it's too late. So,
yours. Don't rush ahead of mine a little too fast.
That's why I'm doing this.
A few years.
That's why we got to do this now. But hey, listen, we will still be doing live streams, and of course, there and outside the stadium. I'm sure maybe we go inside the stadium. I know last time it was harder, but I'm hearing it's easier ways of doing it now. We will be at that game and in full effect of that Rams game. We will be ramming the Rams hard in that game. The whole
Cactus
family.
G, Dave Walker, much love. Big Dal 8604.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep it rolling, baby.
Definitely. It's because we're getting close to the Cowboy news here. Break this open here. But again, Week 2, Jets, they're going to be in their regular or whatever. I guess their green uniforms. But Jim Nantz, Tracy Wolfson, and Tony Romo will be doing that game. Just thought that was interesting to speak on. So talking about a little scheduling here. Now, finishing up with kind of the outside news, but this is now direct Dallas Cowboy news. Hall of Famer, quarterback of the 90s, Troy Aikman, he was on a podcast and he talked about this year's team and offered some praise to the team. He said, quote, "The Cowboys have got another good team this year. I like what they did in the offseason. They're going to be able to compete with anybody in this league." So again, Aikman's been around. He knows it. He usually is not so nice on the Cowboys. This is one of the nicer times I think he's been on the Cowboys. But he did say, when asked about a certain coach for our team right now, the head coach, Mike McCarthy, Troy Aikman said, when he was asked basically, is this the year the Cowboys get over the hump? Is McCarthy on the hot seat? Troy Aikman said, quote, "The Cowboys haven't won many playoff games really in the last 25 years. It's kind of stressing it more. It's a bigger problem than just the coach or the players. It's a bigger problem. 25 years of losing."
I mean, I don't disagree with that statement, but is that his way of trying to say that it doesn't matter that McCarthy's not in the hot seat? Because
I think he's saying he is in the hot seat, but he's
everybody's always
gonna be in the hot seat when they're dealing with this front office. I don't know. That's my two sides. My thought.
So no, I was just trying to kind of figure out what he meant by that. Scorpio said this is the best roster we've had in the past 10 years.
Yeah, we're gonna do some 53 roster prediction towards the end of the camp. Why do it now? It's silly. It means nothing. We got to see these guys in action. Got to account for injuries. It's going to happen, guys.
By the way, I think Aguilar 4 is going to be at that Cowboy Charger game, so taking over SoFi Stadium as usual.
And take over Kellen Moore's offense because Dan Quinn should have his number, baby. In all counties.
Yep, and happy birthday, Tim.
Hey.
Have a good one. Hopefully the Dallas Cowboys win something for you.
Hell yeah. So, as I open... Now, should I go to the next segment? Because now we're going from the Star, from Frisco, and Frisco, Texas. We're going from Frisco, Texas to Oxnard, California. That's what this is about. So, as you get there, guys, again, the banners were waiting for the Cowboys, right? It's funny to me when we talk about McCarthy. Remember that old Jason Garrett kind of photo when he was hanging out of the train?
Yeah, he was like really excited.
That's my boy Cowboy Thomas. But yeah, he looks like Jason Garrett. He's not. But yeah, he's clapping for us. Listen, Jason Garrett hanging out the window at that little train ride. They were going up to Oxnard instead of using the buses. Let me give you guys a comparable now. From the Garrett year of that face to the McCarthy year this year. Boom. I mean, I really haven't seen McCarthy that happy in a while.
I was going to say, that's a lot of joy on one man's face.
These are two very joyful, coaches here. I think this is, a year or two before the end of Garrett? Is it similar for McCarthy? I hope not. Come on. McCarthy's got full control now. No excuses, right? So, McCarthy, obviously, you see the plane right there behind them. We have some video for you guys to kind of see here and check it out. When it comes to today's kind of flight, right? So, Cowboys arrived in Oxnard. McCarthy and the Cowboys arrived at the River Ridge Residence Inn to start training camp. Now, here you're seeing Stephon Gilmore getting ready to get on the plane. You're seeing the line to get through, checking and going onto the team plane. McCarthy there. You see some luggage. Some other players there getting ready to board the plane. The American Airlines. I'm just breaking down the video for you guys here. You guys can watch it. But, again, pulling in. Parking, fast forward it, you're seeing the players get up, and you see them going up in there, right? You see them loading it up, and off they went, guys, safely. Of course, a couple hours later, safe and sound in Oxnard. Cowboys arrived there by bus, and tomorrow is the State of the Team press conference, all right? Not sure of the time yet, but I'm going to do my best, guys. I'll be been over my work day. I'm going to try my best to kind of take a long break and maybe broadcast some of that and talk about it while it's going on live, so stay tuned for that. State of the Team press conference going to involve Mike McCarthy. It's going to involve Jerry Jones. It's going to involve Stephen Jones. At the very least, those three guys will be there tomorrow, at the press conference. They have it all set up, ready to go already. For the media, for questions, it'll probably be an hour or so. So join us for that tomorrow, whether it is a standalone live stream video or it is, we do it later on tomorrow night for the full wrap-up. Now, here you see the Gold Coast buses pulling in, and then here comes McCarthy out of the bus, to the private gate area, I guess, and the entrance there, the side entrance to this River Ridge Residence Inn. That was Soliari. That's another assistant coach there. That's, I'm not sure who that is. Or that. I think that's Scott Tolzien. I'm trying to get the names down here. It's just a small picture. There's Dan Quinn. You know Dan Quinn in the house. Pretty sure that's Fahoko. I know we have in a minute.
Bruce has an excuse for why McCarthy was so happy.
That's,
he said he's
by the
just
way,
enjoying the 69
that's Joe Witt Jr.
weather.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So, hey, it is nice weather out there. That's why Jerry Jones loves it and picks it. So, again, a lot of you're seeing all these players, right? All our team, all our players coming off both of these buses, right? Here's Isaac Alarcon. So you're seeing all these guys come off the bus, but where's some of our top players? They were not on the bus. They were not on the plane or the bus. A lot of them, most of them, were already here. Hey, there's Osa. A lot of these guys were already here. Like who? Like Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, guys. And some people are like, wait, Dak didn't go. What kind of team guy is he? Calm down. He's a head of the team leader kind of situation. He was among a number of veterans who flew out separately and were not on the team charter flight. Dak checked into the hotel earlier today. So it was like, let's say early check-in, Dak Prescott was there. And then he had been in California already working out. Reports also is that he already hit the Oxnard field, kind of took a little stroll and walking around it. So he's really kind of settling in a little earlier than the rest of the team. Love to see it. That's a leader for you right there. Whether you guys like it or not, when it comes to Dak Prescott, he's a leader. Sorry, guys. Sorry to those that hate on him for no reason. Now, DeMarcus Lawrence, I got to give a big shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence. Although, let me put it this way, he was one of the guys that was not on the bus. You won't see him getting off of this. There's Al Harris, coach. He was not on the bus because he was doing some golfing stuff with his family and flew out there and did some kind of, I think he did some golfing stuff and relaxation kind of towards the end of last week. I know Friday he was out there already. So, another leader on the defense. You got Dak out there early on offense. You got DeMarcus Lawrence out there early on defense, and he's already checked in and ready to go. So that's why you didn't see some of those guys out there. By the way, DeMarcus Lawrence, guys, the top 100 NFL players has being released, of course, by tens. Every single day, I think, or every week, whatever. I don't know. Is it every day? They release another 10 names. From 91 to 100, DeMarcus Lawrence was named the 99th best player out of 100. And it's the first time he gets back to those rankings since 2019. DeMarcus Lawrence, again, 99th out of the top 100, voted on by the players themselves. And this is obviously why, guys. He continues to be one of the best edge run defenders in the game today. He had this is last year, 65 tackles, and he wasn't like out there full time. 65 tackles he had, and this is a career high last year. 55 quarterback pressures, 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 13 quarterback hits, 9 quarterback hurries, 3 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and a touchdown. He also had 417 pass rushing snaps. His get home rate, Micah is a crazy 2.0, I think 2.5. But DeMarcus Lawrence at 3.5, not far behind there. DeMarcus Lawrence, 15 more total tackles than Defensive Player of the Year Nick Bosa last year. That is 6th in the entire NFL with a career high of 65 total tackles for last season. Just trying to say the importance of DeMarcus Lawrence, not just in the pass rush, the pressure, quarterback hits, and sacks. It's also in the run stopping and the tackling ability. So the players know it. They respect him. They know it. So that's why he's rated 99th, guys. First time since 2019. Congrats to him. Now, some other players were not along in this journey. All right, with the team, and was not seen getting off the buses and walking into here. But it's not because they're necessarily not there. Now, let me explain. Training camp kicking off here in a way. Tomorrow it officially starts. We'll talk about that with Zack Martin. But the biggest news right now is that veteran cornerback Jordan Lewis, is he going to be starting off on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, or AKA PUP list, right? He suffered that severe foot fracture injury week 7 when he got that interception against the Lions, and then they fell on his leg, cracked his foot. One of the worst kind of injuries they've seen in like a bunch of years, some of these doctors have said. So still having some issues, it sounds like. He's not fully recovered yet. We knew it was going to be a long timetable for him, but now with the rules, with the PUP guys, you got to remember what these rules mean when it comes to Jordan Lewis. Let me throw him up on the screen here. Jordan Lewis now, yes, he's the number 2, right? The J-Lou 2s.
Yep.
So, again, the way the PUP list rules are, players who start training camp, like Jordan Lewis will be starting, it's not 100%, but he'll probably be out tomorrow. They have more flexibility in terms of the return time, especially if they remain through the entire preseason. I'll explain here in a minute. Again, if you stay, I'm pretty sure if they stay the whole preseason and they don't get to be in the game, I think they get automatically, either you get put on, like an exemption list, but you have to be out for 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the regular season, which if they didn't practice in training camp, it's probably what's going to happen. So, that's kind of where I think the Cowboys are looking at it for Jordan Lewis, possibly at the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, it gives some flexibility on when he comes back. When he's really ready to get back on the field, and if it's that time in training camp, then it's a go for him. So, again, it sounds like with the experience that Jordan Lewis has, the Cowboys want to prefer to give him practice reps to be there with the younger players right now, the younger prospects, the younger, 2-3 year guys, and the undrafted and / rookie guys this year that we have on the team here. So, and maybe then they'll ease back Jordan Lewis back a little bit slower, right? A little later, let's say. With Jordan Lewis out, though, this definitely solidifies Deron Bland as our nickel slot cornerback for the Cowboy defense. And we kind of were seeing that, thinking it, knowing it. Number 30 is taking over that third cornerback spot. And again, if he has to play outside, he can do that very well as well. So Jordan Lewis lost control of that starting role for now, and it's going to take a lot to get it back. I think it's going to be tough to get it back from DeRon Bland. He's going to have bad games, and Jordan Lewis got to be healthy. So we'll have to see what happens. Other guys out there like Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Israel Mukuamu, Eric Scott Jr., the rookie, all these guys are going to be fighting for that cornerback spot. So Jordan Lewis, you got to get back, and again, he can't help it sometimes in that situation, but he's the worst situation injury-wise for our team right now. So that's the Jordan Lewis story. Let's keep going to another guy, which I love this. I love it. I'm going to take that off for a second because I'm going to put this on. Terrence Steele, baby. I did not think he was going to start. I thought there was a real risk in him in week 1, and there still is. But today, guys, some conflicting news, so it's good and bad. Terrence Steele, we know he's a starter on this offensive line, right tackle. According to multiple reports, he should be missing the PUP list. He's not going to be placed on the PUP list, which is fantastic in the sense, not that they're rushing him back, in the fact that he is now, ready to take part in some kind of drills. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be full blast in drills. He still may be working on the sidelines, still maybe using some rehab stuff, doing some of these kind of drills. But it means that the option to play week 1 is much better, in my opinion. He was lost last year, week 14, tore the MCL and ACL in his left knee, and was brought back this year on a cheap restricted free agent tender. The Cowboys may be experiencing, changing things up with him, maybe that guard or who knows, right? I don't know if I buy into that. But right now, guys, the expectation is that Terrence Steele is going to be the right tackle like he has been the last 2 years and getting better every year. Now, if he gets limited reps in camp, that will allow the Cowboys to get other guys on the first team and maybe discover new options. Of course, Matt Waletzko, Josh Ball, Chuma Odoga. I mean, just a couple of names that we get to choose from. Not great names, but Waletzko may be the best. Either way, Terrence Steele being possibly out there, even for a little bit, not being on the PUP list, is great news for him playing week 1, and that is, to me, one of the biggest things to worry about coming into week 1. So
Talk about a positive injury progression. I'm just saying, it held, recovery there.
But don't get too happy, because then we got other reports out there saying, and this is, again, that was a report mainly led by Todd Archer. Mm-hmm. There was a Calvin Watkins, or Calvin Hill, or Clarence Hill, I'm sorry. Terrence Steele, he said Clarence Hill does not want to start on camp, start training camp on the PUP list, but now he's saying, and other sources are saying, that there's a good chance that he will start there.
Yeah, so basically,
it's conflicting
he
reports.
Doesn't want to be on the PUP list, but the Cowboys might still put him there.
Yeah, Todd Archer is saying, that he's not going to be on the PUP list, while other guys are saying it's the other way around. So again, even though he's looking, again, guys, this is from this is a great advancement from him in offseason. We've been tracking his development all rehab right here, and the offseason, definitely looking like no brace, no wrap, ready to go. Just I hope the Cowboys, number 1, are not rushing him, which I don't believe they are. And if they are getting him on the field, it's not really to get full reps, is my point. So what do you guys think about this? But what do you think about this situation with Terrence Steele? I mean, I think it's, no matter how you slice it, even if he gets one snap in practice, the whole training camp, it's a good sign for week 1. A much better sign for not starting on the PUP list.
So first things first, Q-Ball said, I hope they don't put him in guard, right? Tackle is his spot.
I agree, but we're going off of what the coaches in the front office has said about this way back a couple months ago.
So outside of that, Scorpio says, Zack Martin, get that sack of money. Let me see, rolling back, by the way, and appreciate all the love here in the chat, guys. Really do appreciate everybody who comes here, hanging out with us every single night, chilling, chatting, hitting likes, subscribing, sharing the love. Of course, sharing FCF out there. Dropping the love as well. Shout out to the sponsor of the week, back-to-back. Woo. Skeptical Fan, the membership man.
Hell yeah.
Marco Seppi and bossing that stream around with 40 points. And, of course, Justin Quarles, the Q-Man.
Boom.
The current Cash App King.
Yes, much love to the Q-Man and much love to Jason Renfro, who's currently leading in the Cash App. And the skeptical one, going for a three-peat, well, he's currently the leader on the overall board. Much love to everybody in the house on that side of things. So, we're going to talk more offensive line stuff here in a minute. But first, let's direct it to the other injured player on this team that kind of could he be on the PUP list? We're hearing Terrence Steele is not. He is. So he's kind of, we know that Jordan Lewis is. Terrence Steele's like the wild card. We're hoping it's going to be, he'll be good enough to go.
Yeah, and obviously, fingers crossed that does go in a more positive direction. But maybe that's one of the reasons the Cowboys have also been pretty chill when it comes to the O-line and some of the depth, even though I still think that we could use a little bit more depth. I guess the Cowboys maybe feel more confident.
I agree with the general sentiment on that. It's unfortunate that we have Tyron Smith, who's great when he's in, but when he gets injured, and he will, that's when the whole thing comes apart. Yep. So the Cowboys have to be ready. I don't know if they have enough ready yet with either Willetsko or a guard that can step in there and start consistently and can plug it right. I don't know. Cowboys seem to say they do. Either way, Terrence Steele looking better and better. I'm not saying he's going to be there week one. Looking a lot better to get there week one. I think every single week we keep saying, he won't make it, and maybe he'll make it. Now it looks better, he's going to make it. That's a great thing to say. That's a great thing to see. So I love it there on that side of things when it comes to Terrence Steele. Now, one other guy, this guy, TP, Tony Pollard, moving it fast. Fire. This is he's doing the explosion kind of machine here, trying to get his explosion rate up and really just test that right ankle. Well, guys, the word is Tony Pollard's going to be good to go. No PUP list for him either. So him and maybe Terrence Steele, only Jordan Lewis will be on this list.
Pollard to me seemed the least likely of these to be on the PUP list when training camp started, just because injury-wise, his was like I hate to say cleanest injury, but for the sake of this, the cleanest injury,
well, it's
easiest
the
to
break, he's
be fully healed from.
It'll be fully.
And timeline-wise, he was supposed to be ready to go end of May, beginning of June. This completely tracks. We're at the end of July, basically.
Yeah, and he's 100%. Not 100%, but he's definitely top percentage that he can get in that field and still do some drills.
That whatever little bit is left, it's all going to be done now in training camp. That's the point.
So kind of going in line to kind of what we were talking about the last week or so about these three guys. Jordan Lewis is going to be on that list, but question marks on Terrence Steele and good positive marks on that and also on the Tony Pollard situation. So now we got that out the way. That was kind of a quickie there. But what about this guy? Any movement on this deal? Now, right now, no movement, guys. Today, Zack Martin was not on the plane. We're talking about guys not on the plane. Number 70, Gob. He's not on the plane, guys.
He's a big guy. Hard to miss.
Yeah, he was also not on the bus. He was not checked in early like Dak or DeMarcus Lawrence. He was just
like
not
Dr.
there.
Seuss book.
So, yeah,
he was
guys.
Not on the bus. He was not on the train. He was not on a plane. He was not in the rain. I don't know.
Well, he definitely wasn't at the Cowboys training camp. For Oxnard, hotel check-in. That's not a big deal yet. The rumor is he's going to hold out, and it looks like it right now. Again, waiting for that improved contract. He's 32 years old. So we all know about that age situation, right? But he's rated across the board as the best guard, maybe the best offensive lineman in the league right now. He's trying to capitalize on that right now before he gets a little bit older, and then he will never get the maximum money. I do want to say he signed a 6-year deal. Some people are saying deal with that. Too bad. But he signed a 6-year deal to help the Cowboys team. Everyone says, well, these guys that get, like 3-year deals, 2-year deals, they're not helping the team. Well, he did. So I think it's even more reason, outside of the fact that he's getting $7 million less than the top two guys in the league. Give him $5 million more a year to the next 2 years, and you're fine. The Cowboys can do that.
Zack Martin and Tyron Smith have always happily worked with their contracts and worked with our front office when it came to, massaging some of their numbers so the team could work things out a little better for other players. So when it's all of a sudden time to play ball for him, Cowboys are absent. I mean, quick question for you, baby, before we kind of, I think, keep it rolling. Do you think that Zack Martin's the type of guy who we can afford to have missed training camp and still be okay? Because his talent, of course, but I still think we would be a little bit of a step behind without having him there to fully flow with the rest of the O-line.
Well, I was going to ask
even if it's just some drills or picking up the playbook or whatever it is.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be real about Zack Martin. He's not going to really hurt missing him for a couple of days or a week. I think he's fine.
I agree, but all of camp?
No, not all of camp. That's going to be $1 million for him, and I don't think he wants to lose that either. But he misses a couple of days, he makes his point, he gets his money. I mean, that maybe is what I'm expecting here. I think sooner than later he will be signed. He will be back in camp because we'll restructure his contract and give him either extension or give him, a little bit more money now, maybe add another year and give him, 17 a year. I don't know. But the point is that the fact that he is still arguably the best guard in the NFL, again, his experience is fantastic. He missing a practice or two is not going to hurt Zack Martin this year. All right. But like you said, it could affect the offensive line chemistry.
Yeah, it's not just about Zack Martin. Zack Martin will be fine. He's the consummate professional.
Exactly.
He's one of the top.
Exactly.
He's one of the top
Right,
guys.
he'll fit in fine, but how will Terrence Steele combination with coming back from injury feel? How will Biadasz? He's definitely a Pro Bowler now officially, right? Mm-hmm. Tyron Smith on the other side. So we have to. I think they know each other already, though. Is my point. I'm not as worried about the chemistry, honestly. I think we could miss him for a couple of days. I don't want to. Well, he could miss a couple of days, and we're fine. That's it. And so he has all the leverage, in my opinion. If you look at when we signed Zack Martin to the contract he wants, just remember this, guys. Just think about that. And this is just using Madden. Who cares about Madden 24? But that's a guide. Listen to this. This is kind of interesting. The Cowboys starting offensive line, the true starting offensive line, all 5 guys on Madden 24. Tyron Smith has an 89 at left tackle. Overall numbers. Mm-hmm. Tyler Smith, to me, a low 79. But still, even that, he's almost at 80 there. Tyler Biadasz at a low 74. Zack Martin, of course, 99 club. He's got a 99 overall. Hence why he's asking for more money. And Terrence Steele with a 79, which I think is a low 79. Guys, we have like a 90, a high 80. Two definite 80s in my opinion, and a budding 80. On this offensive line when it comes to these general rankings out of 100, when they're healthy, like that. When we are healthy, we are a top 10 offensive line. No diggity, no doubt.
Yeah, like I said, there's very, very, very few teams that have this type of talent across the board. Even teams that are better than us, it's because they have maybe a few other guys that are better, but they tend to have one guy that's like
dominant, and the other guys are like
the Biadasz, so to speak. So let me see. Zach's an Iron Man. He doesn't get hurt. Extend the man. Cactus G also throwing out there. Zach can afford to test the front office. $50,000 a day in order to pocket another $7 to $10 million. So Dustin Roberts said there is not a snowball's chance in hell that Jerry lets Martin hold out.
I agree.
He will get a deal done. So Big Dow 8604 pointing out he's the 31st paid lineman. So that means that there are 30 other offensive linemen, 30 other guys that are way worse than him.
Most people say, well, you signed your contract. Too bad. Take that, Zack Martin. Listen, it's not about that to me in that sense. In the NFL, it's not like our jobs, the regular life jobs here. In the NFL, the owners can cut you, release you, fire you if you're underperforming. But also if they don't need you on their scheme anymore, if you don't fit their scheme, if they don't want to pay you the money, even though you're still performing well, no, they'll let you go and make you have to move. Listen, the point is that it affects players differently, and it goes the other way. Players, when the players have to deal with that shit, right? The players have to deal with an owner being able to cut them, just like an owner has to deal with when a player uses these legal and binding contract, CBA agreed upon and deals by the players and the owners, that players are allowed to sit out, hold out, and make more. It's not going to just happen so they don't get more money. They do this to get the money they're asking for, and most of the time it doesn't work. Most of the time it's not someone named Zack Martin who's getting paid $7 million less than the top offensive lineman, offensive guards. So, when I look at this situation, it's a no-brainer. We got a couple nice cheap years from Zack Martin. Now it's Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones' time to pay the piper. I hate that we have to lose salary cap next year or the year after that. It sucks. But that's business. So I'm not going to hold it against Dak. I'm not going to hold it against Zach. You know what I mean? When it comes to them fighting for their contracts.
As much as I want Zack Martin there in camp, completely understand and respect his decision to hold out now and do what he has to do for himself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
they got to do what they got to do, like anybody would have to do for themselves first.
Plus,
again,
it's
a business now across the board. It's not just like the love for the game like it was in the old days for the owners and for the players. It's always been about the money. And now it's a business.
I think it's easy to say as well just because we know 100% that he's going to be a deal done. It's not like there's some weird chance that, Zach walks away or messes things up or you know what I mean.
Exactly. So. No, I agree. And finishing up this, because we're almost done, guys. This is the end of the stream. It's a quick one tonight. Zack Martin, of course, not on this charter flight to L.A., which then they took the buses to Oxnard. But it does not mean he will not show up. So I want to make sure I finish it. He's not showing up yet, but it doesn't mean he won't show up, because he can still show up and report to training camp and be on time and check in tomorrow and not lose the money. But then he's also able to just sit out and not practice. Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting to see if he pulls that just so he won't get fined.
Well, there's a few varieties of protest here
exactly
that he could employ.
Now, other key veterans did not show up. Again, not like Dak, not showed up with the team. Like Dak, DeMarcus Lawrence, and others. We said they're going to, of course, check in tomorrow. We got a report tomorrow. They weren't on the flight, but they were going to meet the team, in the practice sessions, let's say that, and checking in tomorrow. So everyone but Zack Martin sounds like will be there for sure. Clark Kent in the house with that $2 holler. He's on the board in second place as we kick off a new week. Much love to you. Hey, drops been trickling through. But the man, Clark Kent, what do you have to say, baby?
I'm in Oxnard on Saturday to watch Mozzie and Micah. First of all, huge shout out to you, Clark. I appreciate you as always. And second of all, I am a little jealous. Not gonna lie. What day of the week is that? This Saturday.
Okay, so right before, but is that, let me see, what's the date there? I'm just looking here.
The 29th?
Okay, I'm just checking. The 30th is the first day they hit.
Okay.
But the 29th, they will still be on that field doing some drills and all that kind of stuff. It's just great to see them just the first time on that field. I am jealous of that as well.
Real quick, Monroe Gadet said, didn't Zack threaten to hold out once before? If not him, it was another offensive lineman. I think you might be getting him confused with Tank. Tank is the last player on the D-line
Zack Martin was a free agent. He wasn't really threatening to hold out. He had to get a deal made. And it went down to the end, is the point.
Like I said, the last person who, quote-unquote, threatened to hold out as far as D-line or O-line was Tank. Outside of that, there were some last-minute deals done, but it never got to the point where those types of words were said.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know if it was said, but it was implied. I think that obviously if they didn't get a deal, Zack Martin might have had to hold out, and they said, "Oh, we're going to pay you." But I think also it's kind of being misheard a little bit in the sense of, maybe in his mind he's thinking, "Hey, he held out," but it was more like not even threatening to hold out, but just, "I'm not going to be signed with you, and I'm going to go somewhere else in free agency," kind of deal. So, just Zack Martin is definitely, a guy that you can count on for at least another couple of years. There's a no-brainer here. You give them the money, and we stop looking in their wallets and their pockets. That's not my concern. It's about Jerry Jones and his people. It's about the Joneses being better businessmen. Maybe that's the bigger problem,
Clark
guys.
Kent, I have to admit, I think you're the first person I've seen say that. He said, "Don't pay Zack, bro. We need to stop playing older players."
Well, again,
he's only 32.
32. He's got at least another 2. No, he's 32, but he's got another 2 years to go of solid football, no question. So I am fine with paying him the $3-4 million, $5 million more at most. If it's a pride thing, guys,
he's still playing at a very high level.
He's rated number 1 in the NFL right now, and will probably be a number 1, 2, 3 guy again this year. You don't just give those Hall of Famer guys away, even at 32 when they're still the top of their game. It's silly to me to even start thinking about, And again, remember, the advantage he has is because the front office sucks. We have no guards. We have no true left guard. If one guy gets hurt on that offensive line, we have no left guard, and now we have no right guard starting. So Zack Martin's holding all the cards, and he can do whatever he wants, and he has the right to. That's business. That's negotiation. So, look, as I said earlier, guys, Dak Prescott didn't travel to California. He came to the facility in Oxnard and visited the field and the whole thing. The first official practice is Wednesday. Now, tomorrow they got to check in. Is the first check-in. If you don't report tomorrow, Zack Martin, $50,000 cheap, less money in his pocket. Now, I will say one thing. We talked about the fact that they can't waive these fines anymore.
Yeah.
But think about this. A team could pay Zack. Let's say Zack Martin misses let's say he misses $1 million because he misses all training camp. If they get a deal done, the Joneses can give him an extra $1 million. And that's a way of him kind of paying that off. But then you're paying him, instead of 19, you're paying him 20, and you're paying his fines, which is almost like that's a way of kind of trying to, work a deal that way if it gets bad. And, you can hold that over the owners' heads in the negotiations. Just some things I saw out there trickling around, and I thought it was interesting. But look, in the end, Cowboys not looking. Listen, we got two out of our 3 guys that are injured. Like Jordan Lewis, he's going to probably be on the PUP list, but the other 2 guys may not. And Tony Pollard and Terrence Steele. And we have 89 spots on our team taken out of the 90. So right now, there's no rush, it seems like. Stephen Jones is going to say it's a 24/7 job, due diligence to acquiring talent and all that crap. Right now, it just seems the Cowboys are just chilling and waiting and then seeing what they need in training camp after a week, is my guess. After a week of training camp, the Joneses will say, okay, we need a linebacker, a running back, a guard. But right now, we need this guard. back in camp. And again, I think it's going to happen sooner than later. Just seems like to be common sense. Let me put it that way. So that's the update on the Zack Martin situation. I know a lot of people are not happy about this at all. But as I kind of open this up in a minute here, baby, I do want to give the overall kind of ranking situation when it comes to. I'm sorry, I know you have to finish it up here, but the top 10 ranked Cowboy players by PFF, right? By the analytical kind of numbers and ratings. When it comes to quarterback, Dak Prescott is the 10th highest rated analytical quarterback through PFF. Running back, Pollard is 8th by position. CeeDee Lamb ranked 9th at receiver. Offensive guard, offensive lineman, the best guy, of course, Zack Martin, he's ranked number 1. Micah Parsons at the edge, ranked number 2 by PFF. And then at cornerback, we have 2 guys. No safeties, no linebackers, but we have 2 cornerbacks. We got Stephon Gilmore, number 6, and we got Trayvon Diggs, number 8. So again, just PFF analytical. This is not for sure, guys. This ain't signed, sealed, and delivered. This is just a guide that shows you the kind of talent we have on offense and on defense. 4 elite offensive players, 3 elite defensive players. We got a lot more great players on defense, though, I think, than we do have great players on offense. And a much better coach, at least the last 2 years into our third here with Dan Quinn. So, I'm excited to see the new things we're going to see on offense from McCarthy's game plan. I'm excited to see, how this defense, kind of is going to be able to attack in maybe different ways because of Mozzie Smith and other guys we added in this team. But when you look at this whole team, the main thing for me, guys, the number one thing for me right now in training camp, outside of learning everything and no injuries. That's all I want. Can I get that? Can we get no injuries or as little as possible? That's all I'm asking for. Now, I know some of the players did speak today, and they were asking for different things. They're talking about different things. Some of those guys were injured guys that are coming back and hoping to be 100%,
Mm-hmm.
So before we get to those guys, baby, I guess I know you hit the chat a little bit. Any other comments before we get to that?
No, real quick, Clark Kent. Yes, I actually did see the linebacker that the Patriots signed named Diego.
Go ahead. Say his name, baby.
Let's call it Fago.
Okay, Fago.
Let's say Fago.
All right.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I'm not going to say it the other way that it looks like it is spelled. But yes, that did happen to catch my eye for obvious reasons. Just throwing that out there.
That's funny. I'm glad other people were catching that too out there.
Let me see. Rolling back real quick. Frame Rippers said, this business helps nothing for us fans. It doesn't protect us. Greedy owners and players, they determine the product on the field. So how do you go about protecting the fan? And I said, I'm like, risk is an inherent part of being a fan. When you're a fan, going into it, there's obviously a chance that you're going to lose. Like, that's part of the fun, isn't it, I guess? I mean, it sucks to lose, but that's kind of the whole point.
I'm going to throw in there a little bit more in this. I'm going to throw in there the fact that it has to do with all that stuff you see at the bottom of the screen. That's what it runs it, man. That's what runs this thing. And I'm talking about in a sport that used to be about, guts and glory and pride and doing it for the love. And they still do it for the love, guys. But obviously it is a business. It's the way it wasn't when we were, some of us, me, and maybe Frame Rippers as well, were younger, and it was more about, the toughness and winning Super Bowls before you get paid. Those days, and I said this, and I know Frame Rippers has known this since Voodoo Alpha days when we were talking about this, and I'd say, we got to all accept this is the way it is now. It's not the old days that you got to win 2 Super Bowls and you get paid. It ain't happening. That's never happening ever again. For better or for worse, and obviously for the fans it's worse, but for the players and the owners, it's money time. It's business. It's better for them. So that is the reason that football, the owners got too greedy, and that's where it started, just in case you didn't know. The players wanted their piece of the pie. Now they have some leverage. So, I mean, you got to blame the owners first, and the players, of course, they're going to get their pie, and everyone's greedy. That's business. Unfortunately, that's a money-making machine of billions of dollars a year. That's why it's like that. And up to our fans, what can we do? We can stop watching or we can keep enjoying. I will keep enjoying. As I love my Dallas Cowboys, I've seen them through thick and thin. Since 1980-something, early 80s, till the worst days to the best in the 90s, to the worst now. I'm here for life. Till death do us part, Dallas Cowboys. With all the business shit and all the changes, that whether it's rules, whether it's salary cap, whether it's money, whether it's greed. When it comes to the teams, the owners, the players, I accept that's the way it is over there for them. For us, it's the love to see our team win. That's 6 and beyond.
So, Double R said, sad part is I'm a real sore loser when it comes to the Cowboys. Real talk.
Me too. That's why I'm doing this. I don't get so pissed. I get pissed, but I don't like getting a bar fight pissed, which is what it used to be for me. So
yeah, which, by the way, when we asked about superstitions or kind of routines or things like that you did for the game, basically the number one answer, at least in the chat, was being away from everybody so I can watch the game and everyone can leave me alone. Which I can understand.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. Hey, Clark motherfucking Kent with another 5 on it. Well, not another, a first 5 on it here. Aside of the skeptical gifting, we do have a new leader on the board, baby. Kicking it off a new week here, and his name is Clark motherfucking Kent. From second place to first place, jumping skeptical fan. What did the man say with that $5 holler?
He said, can we all take a moment to recognize mental health, you guys? I believe it's a problem. If someone is going through it, reach out, please. Love you, fam.
Yeah, that
absolutely,
facts
guys.
right there.
Again, I know it can be very easy nowadays to be or feel very disconnected from people, but thank you to the internet. We are not all that far away, even if sometimes it feels like it. So, take a time to reach out and hit somebody up if you're feeling that way.
Dak runs a lot of the mental health stuff here, pushes that forward. So that's another great guy to have on board with this. I know Clark Kent must love that part of it as well.
Mental health.
Winning Super Bowls. Yeah.
Yes,
and I was going to say,
very, very curative.
I went from saying, I just want to watch it by myself to now we're watching it with like hundreds of people every single week when we watch our football games for the last 6+ years. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm helping my mental health on that. But you guys, no joke here. Compared to going out and watching the game, drinking some beer, I'd rather just chill at home with the family here. And with you guys, of course, part of the family, watching our games together, the glory of wins, the anger or hate or sorrow of loss, we all experience it here together on My Cowboys Family, as a family. So I hear you. I hate losing too, Cue Ball. Mark, we got Clark Kent in first place on the overall board, Skeptical in second, Jason in third, as we kick off a new week here on My Cowboys Family. So now I've kind of done my part of things. I don't know if you hit up all the comments, you kind of get a good range of comments, but I would like to...
I always appreciate that, Frame Rippers.
Yeah.
Much love, Voodoo, always. A little bit more, make
with
sure.
the love, Voodoo.
Yeah, we did, because when I rolled back, it was about Zack Martin.
Yeah. So, baby, for the finale, it's your turn. And who you hitting up first when it comes to two people spoke today, Michael Gallup and J-Ron Kearse.
Mm-hmm.
I know, an underrated defensive player like J-Ron Kearse, and I will say when he's at full strength, an underrated wide receiver in Michael Gallup. So who we hitting up first, baby? Tell me, hit me up. Who's speaking first?
Michael Gallup.
MG 13 in the house.
So
what did he say today, baby?
Very, very excited. He kind of mentioned as well that this is kind of the first step in that journey. Saying, quote, the first couple weeks in camp, that's what you're waiting on. You finally get back in pads, get a flow going. You always want to come in here with high expectations. Nobody ever wants to come in here low. And we have a great group.
And just so you guys know, July 31st, it's a Monday. The hitting starts next Monday. So, again, that's when the pads come on. That's what Michael Gallup's talking about.
So, and again, even though we know that physically speaking, he technically was ready to go when he was last year, he actually said that it was more of a mental situation than a physical one that kept him from being 100%. He said, mentally, it's up there to 100%. Last year, the mentals obviously weren't there. I knew my leg was good. I knew I was straight, but I still had to get over that hump. So definitely this offseason and coming out here to 2023 training camp and being able to go day one, this will be good.
I want to add something here. I have not heard none of these comments because, maybe we're doing a little new system here.
Yeah.
So, she's the reporter getting the responses, and I'm doing all the stat work and info work. But this is the first, I like doing it this way because I can now put in my quick 2 cents. Michael Gallup, when he's talking about coming in now, feeling better, does that mean, in a mental situation, do you think this is more of a Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones kind of pushing him on the field maybe a little too soon? Maybe he wasn't mentally there yet, and he kind of had to play that way the whole season, kind of always with that in his mind, never really clearing it in his head? I mean, how long do you wait for a player to clear his head? That's another question you got to ask on both sides of things, devil's advocate on both sides. But I just think, do you think that made a difference? I'm asking you, do you think that made a difference in the sense of maybe it hindered him more throughout the season because he was thrown in there maybe a little too soon, too fast? I'm just asking.
I personally think that if it was supposedly a mental thing, then maybe it was good that he did play half the season with it.
Good
and
point.
realize, hey, you're
Got
fine, you're okay, you're healthy. Like, I'm just saying, like, because maybe that kind of hard evidence will be able to, come in handy in the future if he was ever freaking out, like, oh my God, my leg's not working, I can't feel it, or whatever. I don't know what's going on with him.
No, but it also gave him the prep confidence for this season, right? This season, now he knows he's over that, which is even more confident. Not good for last year, but better for this year in the long run. So hopefully. All right.
So, and he threw in there, you're healthy, everything's good. It's just mental now. You've got to make sure you feel like your old self. So getting to that's the hardest part.
No,
so,
again, and I think we're all banking, hoping that he's back to his old self. Because if he is, he might not get the separation, but he's going to get a little more separation, and he's going to be a lot more, I think, electric when you have CeeDee Lamb better than he was 2 years ago, and Brandon Cooks better than Noah Brown last year.
So, and honestly, he is just kind of ready to go. Right? Like he's
to get on the field.
Let's just skip all this brouhaha and let's get out there. Right? He said, you finally get to get back in pads and get the flow going. You always want to come in here with high expectations, but nobody ever wants to come in here low.
I think we heard that one. Yeah,
he said, I've already done that, and that's why we had OTAs and stuff, because I've definitely rebuilt it. So
he's mentally, even off of the mini camp and the OTAs, he knows he's mentally overcome
he's already
that.
Built up to this point. He's like mentally ready to go, and he feels confident in that.
Love it.
And the last point that he made, which is something that honestly, again, near and dear to my heart personally, he speaks on Dak's leadership. How Dak organized that little retreat over in Lake Oconee in Georgia. He said that, quote, I think it's very smart. Honestly, every quarterback in the league should do it. I don't know how many do it, but I think it's been a big plus for us, especially the rookies that get to go. They get to see how we operate, see how we move, and when we come into training camp, they're ready to go.
I do want to make a comment about this because, again, a lot of people say, well, who cares? Another losing season for the Cowboys and Dak. Dak's going to still suck, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, let's just assume that you're right about your thoughts about this is a waste of time. Can I amend something here for you guys that think that? What if he didn't do this? What if Dak and the rookies and the veterans, what if they didn't have these throwing sessions? How much worse would this be? And trust me, it would be worse. So what I'm trying to say, if you hate Dak, or you hate the way this offense is run, or you hate this, whatever, think of it without this. Obviously, this helps the team in some ways. So I think that's something you always have to remember. No matter how bad you may think it's going to be this year, it would be worse if they didn't do this. And a lot of quarterbacks out there that have been drafted a lot higher than Dak Prescott, like Carson Wentz, and others, don't do this kind of stuff. A lot of quarterbacks do not do this. Aaron Rodgers, you think he does this? So I'm just saying, guys, Dak does. Dak's one of the few that kind of do this on a regular basis every year.
G, that's a great point, too. He said Gallup also lost a brother, so he and Dak have a strong bond.
And that was in Atlanta where, when he was playing, we're playing the Falcons that game. Yeah,
was
rookie
it his
year.
Rookie year? I think
so,
it was.
Yeah.
Either his rookie year or the second year after.
Very sad situation. I'll never forget that. That was really, really shocking. So after the game, he found out. So, that was bad.
Yeah, so let me see. Cactus G also said, definitely. Remember when he was supposed to start one game and said he didn't feel ready until next week?
And that's why he was pushed in there. That's why I still... We were saying this all last year. We're like, I feel like he's getting pushed. I guess he's okay to come back, but, I don't want to be rushed on the field. It just feels a little rushed. I don't want to say that's what had happened. I'm sure he said, I can do it. Obviously, he was not ready to do it. And that's, whether it's his own pushing, he pushed himself too much, or was it the Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones pushing him? Like, come on, let's get on that field. Who knows?
So...
There was no competition for his spot.
They both have unfortunately lost brothers to suicide.
Yeah, suicide, mental health, like Clark Kent had mentioned earlier.
That's why we got to take care of each other, guys. So Q Ball saying it's about preparation, and hopefully we are as prepared as the good little Boy Scouts we're hoping we are.
Yes. Now that's the offensive side of things. One other guy spoke today. That's our defensive. I believe. What do they call him? A jackal. What did Micah call him? A jackal? I don't know. A jaguar? Mm-hmm. No, Wilson was a jaguar. This is, I think, the jackal or hyena. J-Ron Curse. He spoke also today in some, I always like to hear what J-Ron Curse, especially he's now following the family here on Twitter, and he's also part of the family here at My Cowboys Family. So again, hopefully he's not even caring about this. All he cares about is going out there and doing his job like he's been doing with the Cowboys since he's been here with Dan Quinn. What did he have to say today, baby, after they got off the buses and he had his little mini press conference?
He said, as far as the Dallas Cowboy defense, quote, "The confidence level is definitely high. When you've got a lot of guys returning, and then you add some other great players like Stephon
Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean that's again something we've been talking about all off season. They are in tune in this too. They know they got some great guys like Stephon Gilmore. They still have some great guys retained that we could have, like Wilson and LV and others. And we also added Mozzie Smith to help that defense. Got back Hankins and the free agent guy. That's important. Great job by the Cowboys to retain this defense, and every guy in this defense knows it. And, remember, J-Ron Curse, one of the guys with the green dots the first year, Dan Quinn. He knows this defense front and backwards. So J-Ron Curse is one of the guys that could definitely take on the leadership or play calling for the defensive side of things. So great to see him in tune with the star.
So as far as the Dallas Cowboys defense being the NFL's number 1 rated defense, Curse said, quote, "We feel that way every year. But we've got to go out there and prove it. We have to prove it every day. We have to think greatness whenever we're doing anything. We're going in the right direction. We're taking the right steps to go out there and be a champion. And be a championship defense and a championship team. We just have to put the work in. Everything will take care of itself. But we definitely have the formula to get it done." So if I'm understanding this correctly, basically he's just saying we have the personnel to do it. We just have to kind of go out there and do it. So at least that's the way that I took that. It's up to us to try and get that number 1 defensive spot.
Yeah, listen, every single time you're going to see, this defense, I think, come up with the big stops when it comes to pass rush, passing downs. We're gonna be just as good, if not better, than we were the last couple of years. It's that run stopping difference that makes the biggest difference. And Mozzie Smith, Hankins in there, slowing down any kind of running abilities, that's going to make teams one-dimensional. J-Ron Curse knows that's the end of the offense. Whichever offense we're playing, you're in trouble if we stop your run game. And that's what we've done, I think, with these moves this year. A lot of these moves kind of in that sense. So, yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry. That was all I had here as far as Curse. He didn't say too much. So, actually, no, I'm sorry. I did have one last final little blurb here. He does not want to wait to put on pads. He said he literally, if it was up to him, like the second you step out there, bam, pads. He said, I'm ready to get into it. But it's all part of the process, and he can't cheat the process. So, basically, he just wants to be in pads, hitting guys, getting to go.
If it sounds like both Gallup and Curse want to be in pads and get out there and get to it, So it's great to see, great to hear, and I truly believe that, J-Ron Curse is ready to lead the run stop hybrid linebacker that he is, free safety / strong safety he can play, versatile player that he is, that he can basically carry tight ends, any kind of tight end, the best tight ends, he's locking them down. Very important piece for this Cowboy defense. So loving this. Again, this is negative day 1. Day 1 is Wednesday on that field. So I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow's check-in. And yes, tomorrow the fine start for Zack Martin. So we'll see more about that. Also, baby, tomorrow we're going to have, I don't know if I'll be able to get it live. I'll try my best. Maybe I'll make a standalone one. It'll be a little bit on delay, but it will be on the state of the team. The state of the team discussion, or I say press conference, which Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Mike McCarthy will be part of tomorrow. So I'll do my best if I can get to that for you guys tomorrow live here on MCF. And if not, we'll definitely discuss it tomorrow night, along with the check-in information, right, from our team. And I'm sure there'll be some more players speaking about some things coming up, whether it's contracts, whether it's health, whether it is excitement to get on that field and what we're going to do on the offensive and defensive sides of things. So I'm looking forward to it. Hit up the chat, baby, and do the final shout-outs. But do not shout out him. Okay? So, anyways, so go ahead. You can keep it going, baby.
All right, all good. So Cactus G in the house. What's up? Much love. Let me see. Double R in the house. Remy Solis. Take it easy. Have a great night. Roland Rodriguez said, without Zach or Zeke in training camp, how does Dak go handle the mental part of starting camp without both of his brothers? So, honestly, Dak is a consummate professional, so
he overcomes that somehow.
He might have maybe a few rough plays, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be good.
So, Skeptical Fan, of course.
Yes.
Huge shout out to the man himself, the sponsor of the week.
Back to back.
And the membership man.
Hell yeah. And in second place currently on the overall board, Mark Hovsepian. He's on there repping it, baby. He's got 33, Tony Dorsett, or right now it's Damone Clark points. And Mark Hovsepian, but Clark motherfucking Kent. First place on the overall board there. Skeptical in second. Jason Renfro in third. Why is Jason Renfro in third? Well, because he is the Cash App leader right now. He dropped a dollar holler in there. And, we drop his name up there. But, do you know who the king of the Cash App is? It's none other than the Q man. Justin Quarles. Hell yeah. So, much love to him. He's carrying that crown this entire week. But, yes, Jason Renfro is trying to steal that crown. Take that crown back from the OG, the Q man, Justin Quarles. So, just wanted to finish it up strong on that side, baby. Go ahead, hit up the. I'm sorry, I don't know. You only hit one comment.
No, it's all good, Smodius. Not sure, honestly. I thought Zeke would have been picked up by somebody by now. So obviously, I think that if he's picked up by anyone, it's going to be a mid-camp, end-of-camp type of move pickup situation. So let me roll back a little bit more. Clark motherfucking Kent, Frame Rippers. We have, of course, the man Q Ball. Kenzie Bands, much love. Cactus G, the place to be. Q Ball representing. Let me see. Even you, lead commander. Right? Monroe Gadet, much love. Scorpio representing. Dustin Roberts, hello and hi. Big Dal 8604, hello. We have, who else is here?
I saw Nick in the house.
Meh. Let me see. Yeah,
not crazy.
Yeah,
not crazy.
As far back as I can go.
Not crazy about the name, but his Nick, I guess, is okay.
So anyway, that does bring us to the end of our stream. Make sure to take a second to hit like if you haven't already. Huge, easy, simple way to help support the channel. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our live streams. Or, when we post the occasional video or thing like that, too.
It's going to be
now in training camp. Definitely a lot more videos than pretty much any other time of the year.
I do want to make sure tomorrow probably won't be too much. Probably one like you have today. But keep your eyes out for Wednesday, Thursday. For every day, guys. From Wednesday on, you're going to get a barrage of videos. So I hope YouTube don't get mad about, what is it called? Like when you are spamming. We're not spamming, obviously. But we will try to condense them as much as possible. You are going to get your first-hand look at the Cowboys training camp with my 2 cents on every single video because I'm watching this with you guys. We're going through this together. So I know we can't be an OXNARD, but this is the next best thing. So you want to stay here for the daily breakdowns here. And it ain't going to be like, live streams. We're talking about it's going to be video, standalone. You guys check it out. Give your comments on what you saw. Hit the like, of course, and all that good stuff. So I'm hoping that we can really get together on some thoughts on our Cowboys as we officially enter this motherfucking training camp season. I'm excited, baby. I'm excited. I can't wait till Wednesday and beyond.
So, with that said, guys, again, thank you to everybody here chilling with us. And, baby, why do we do what we do? Don't worry.
I want you to tell me.
I was going to say, I'll answer this for you. It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here on this channel, here at MCF, we're going to rep that star over everything. And right here for 6+ years, into our 7th year, 7th season of football here on My Cowboys Family, here on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, say it with us. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Much love to everybody in the chat, dropping the knowledge all night long. All night. Yeah. Guys, thank you for the discussion. Great comments back and forth. I know, baby, you and I had some nice little interaction there about some of the comments by the players, some of the other topics we talked about. I love learning from all of you guys. I love learning from you, baby.
Yeah. So, Mark Hosepian, aloha to you.
Hey, in the house. Much love to Mark, Big Mark, in the house. We're going to have an overtime session with Mark. I don't know, but we just went through a good amount of news. We could open this up to an overtime session, but I just want to know that the wife is definitely going to probably have to catch the replay tomorrow of this portion of it, right?
Yes,
so
I have a much, much earlier day than Mr. MCF in the morning.
But I love the fact that we had a fantastic group of discussions here. A lot of good information. I hope that we got to cover it all for you guys. But either way, we'll be back again tomorrow for another one, no matter what, right? And tomorrow is going to be the state of the team discussion, and it's also going to be, the check-in portion of things. As the man, Mark Hosepian, jumping in the house with that $2 holler and getting on that board. Let me get this done for you, brother. The $2 holler, he said, just got in. Any signings real quick? Well, that's, again, signings for the Cowboys, no. Not any signings for the Cowboys. But I was discussing the fact that the Washington Commanders released Andrew Norgard, which, again, we've gotten confirmation from Washington fans that he ain't that good. Although we took a look at him about a couple months ago. Of course, I had Dalton Reisner above him. That's, that Reisner's off the board in my mind. So now this guy, he's also off the board. Not a very good player. To me, Mark, he would be I guess what you would say, a Matt Farniok from another team, from Washington. I'm not even giving, this guy's probably better than Matt Farniok, but by how much? Probably the Joneses are going to stay with their own guys. You know how they do. We'll just stick with our own guys this time. That's probably what will happen with that scenario. In my humble opinion, again, nobody signed for the Cowboys, and I would not hold my breath in that. Again, we did hear, I did make a mention there's still one spot open on the 90-man roster. Sounds like the Cowboys are probably going to hold off on that until they get a, someone, again, like a Norgard that could be released. They're going to get them on a cheap deal or something like that. Add competition. I believe, like we did with Malik Hooker 2 years ago, like we did with, who was it last year? Anthony Barr last year. We'll probably sign a guy within the first week of training camp when they probably won't even have the pads yet. So sometime in the next 7 to 10 days, they probably sign someone before the 31st. That's my guess. I'm completely guessing. Appreciate you, Mark. He has 35 points on that stream, boss. And, fought back a couple points up that from 33 to 35. He's moving on up there. Appreciate you. Who else? I think we know the shout-outs already. Double R, Cue Ball. Who else we got? Nightbot. I'm joking here. Skeptical Fan, of course. Oh, and Mark hits another $2 holler here, saying when will there be where will there be that flood of players released? Guess what, Mark? There's only one release. There's only one release on as far as a grand release. It's going to be at the end of training camp, at the end of the preseason. After the last preseason game, there's the exodus there. You go from like 90 players to 53. It's crazy. That's going to be crazy. But there's not going to be like it was before. You have gradual kind of floods of players. So that's going to hinder the Cowboys, kind of figure out, okay, this guy was dropped a little early. Let's bring him in and use him a little bit before we decide if he's going to make the team or not. Now you got to kind of just pick him up and roll the dice on some of these cuts from other teams. And that's going to be literally like 2 weeks before the first game. Might be too close for comfort on that. So it's going to be tougher this year, I think, when it comes to signing someone at the one cut day. But there's going to be guys released throughout the next month or so. And I think that's the key there. So and Mark also asked, any news on Zack Martin? He just wasn't on the plane today. That's it. Wasn't on the plane. Did not check into the hotel. Tomorrow is his first check-in day. And when it comes to check-in day, I'm talking about like league-wise check-in day. If you don't check in tomorrow, I don't know if it's 10, 11, 12, 1 in the afternoon Pacific time. If Zack Martin doesn't check in, he pays a $50,000 fine daily. Mark with another $2 holler. And by the way, I do think Zack Martin might pay a couple $100,000 in fines to make his point, get his money. and he'll be back when the pads come on. That's what I'm thinking. I'm being hopeful, I guess. I think that realistically the Jones would be stupid. It'd be a true clown show if they somehow, with no guard already on the left side, we're going to then throw in there. And I say no guard. I know Tyler Smith is there, but any shift on the offensive line, we don't have a guard anymore. If Tyler Smith goes to left tackle, and now we don't have a right tackle. We don't have a left guard. We don't have a right guard. That's insane to me. A Hall of Fame right guard, by the way, at the top of his game, rated by pretty much everybody and their mother. Mark said, our O-line is our Achilles heel and the owner. The O-line has hurt us in the past and kind of, I would say, slowed down even Kellen Moore's playbook sometimes, right? That's when the coordinator has to make the adjustment. Coordinator makes an adjustment, you help your team do a little better. You put your offense in better situations. You play more to their skill strength over your stubborn play calling, predictable sometimes. That was where Kellen Moore failed, but if we had a better offensive line, it'd be more successful, even against better defenses. So, that's kind of like where the foundational crap starts. We talk about that a lot. The owner, talk about foundational issues. Listen, I will give the Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones crew there some credit. It was not as bad as it was last year, which was fucking horrible as far as the offseason. Still went 12-5 and won a playoff game. That's not enough, but obviously that kind of offseason, it was good to be able to rebound. Thank you, defense. Thank you, offense. But the clown show, my brother, the clown show, that is the foundational issue of this team. That is our Achilles. And even though this year was not as bad, it definitely was. Brandon Cooks, great trade. Stephon Gilmore, great trade. In my opinion, both great moves. So still got to see it produce in the field. I can't really blame him for that, but it's more about the moves they didn't make. Osiris in the draft there at guard, and we got Luke Schoonmaker instead. And the man, Marco Seppian, this time he put that 5 on it. Yeah, you guys got overtime MCF right now. You're gonna probably hear some stuff over again, but I'm excited for the season. We had 2 back-to-back dominating. I say dominating regular seasons. 12-5, nothing to sneeze at. We're not elite, but definitely a good to great. B+ regular season, and we've improved every year. We're literally went from better players to worse players. Now we're at better players across the board, and a different change in play caller. To me, it's all better than it was the last 2 years, and we were 12-5 with a playoff win last year. Mark with that $5 holler said, my feelings on holding out, but to me this is easily avoided. And, that's clown showy right there. That's true. Zach has years left, and restructuring only helps us. Clown show. News on Tolbert? Now, I'll talk about Tolbert in a minute, but just saying about Zack Martin holding out here. Again, I know you're not a fan about it. We discussed this earlier here on the stream as well, so if you got to go back, you can check that out. Definitely, we addressed the holdout situation. And the fact that Zack Martin is holding all the cards. Why does this happen? Do you guys remember back, this is about 5 years ago, the beginnings of MCF? Do you guys remember we talked about this situation with DeMarcus Lawrence, where it really started? You know who's running that show, right? You guys do know who's running the show. He's going to pick him up from behind you right there. Can you see who it is? It's Jerry Jones, of course, but it's more than Jerry Jones. Since this guy took over, Steve Jones. I call him Steve because he hates it. I'm just calling him Steve all the time. It's Steven Jones. But the DeMarcus Lawrence situation, DeMarcus Lawrence abused him, basically. And because of bad management, he got, the best deal he can possibly get after a lot of bullshit kind of bluffing by the front office, by Steven Jones specifically. So that was where it started. And it went through the Zeke days and, Dak. That was poorly handled by the front office. They should have signed him years before when they already said he was their franchise quarterback. Why do you give him firepower, ammunition, and then what, are you going to threaten him? It's the same exact situation that we have now with Gobb. Yeah, Gobb. Zack Martin. So, we don't fix anything on this offense. Osiris Torrance could have been here. We could have had Tyler Smith, Osiris Torrance combo. Maybe Zack Martin wouldn't have been so apt to pull this move, right? And I'm not saying that, he doesn't deserve it. And he doesn't have the right to. I fully understand his right, and he deserves it. But what I'm trying to say is, why did the Cowboys leave us in a situation where he could do this? And that is Boom. The clown show. I hate laughing at it, but is our true Achilles heel even more than the offensive line? At least they build an offensive line on this team. When we draft the first rounders, I even say Biotish, fourth rounder, coming through as an offensive line staple here for us, who's, by the way, on his last year, his rookie deal. So we got to pay him, too. The continuity with the offensive line and Dak is maybe very important to keep a Pro Bowl center. But the way the front office handles shit, well, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot twice. And then what's going to happen? We're going to start over again? We're going to have to draft all new offensive linemen? It just makes no sense with this fucking front office. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be cursing at such a late hour here. I don't want to wake anyone up with my cursing. Mark Hosepian. And that hits on this side, guys, it's extra loud. I don't know if you can hear it on my microphone, but I jump out my fucking skin when I hear the drop. So pardon me for a little being louder sometimes. Mark dropping that 5 on it, building up that stream boss, 49 points. And honestly, I've been slacking. He's in first place right now in primer lugar on the overall board, so I'm going to move him up there in a minute. But DeMarcus Lawrence is what he's saying. Okay, let me see. He says it's different with DeMarcus Lawrence. Let's bring D-Law back up on there. I do agree it's different to an extent. But let me hear what you got to say. Let me read it all the way. D-Law was different. He had one good year and was nowhere near the skill level as Dak. The similar thing, or I'm assuming you're saying Zach. The similar thing is that we have no one else. Both of them have us by the balls, and that's been the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. That's management. That's not DeMarcus Lawrence. He used it. They tagged him twice, or they finally got the deal after that tag. My thing is with this, though. It's not about see, here's the thing, Mark. It's not about the player. I agree. Zack Martin is proven. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence had one great year, a couple good years. And that's it. And he's been a run-stopping staple, and that's great, but you don't pay a run-stopper $23 million a year. So what I'm trying to say here is, even though I agree 100% with you on this, when it comes to DeMarcus Lawrence being different because of the player he is, I'm saying it's the same. Why? Because when things started to be handled by old Steve Jones. Remember, guys, Des Bryant, Jason Witten. Jason Witten said, I'm out of here. And I know he came back. Des Bryant, we know about that situation when the Cowboys cut him. I'm just saying this, whether right or wrong, good or bad, and I kind of agree with some of those moves in some ways. Stephen Jones taking over started the taking advantage of the Cowboy front office time. That's what I mean. So after that, DeMarcus Lawrence went in there and tagged out and got the money after all the smoke and whistles, right? Is that how you say that? Bells and whistles from the front office saying, we're not budging. We're not going to. Well, they budged. They paid. They lost. Zeke went to Cabo, took a little vacation, won. Even with Pollard having that good preseason, Zeke was the guy, right? And again, they got us, right? Now Zack Martin. Now, again, player-wise, I'm telling you, it's a whole different story. Of course, we need him on this team. More important than Zeke. More important than DeMarcus Lawrence. But it's the cycle of the front office is what I'm talking about since Stephen Jones took over. You guys see what I'm trying to say? I think I'm trying to say it. So let me know what you all think here. We're in overtime session here. Thank you to the man Mark Hosepian, and let me fix that board for him too because he has jumped over in first place already for a little bit. Now he's got himself a little bit bigger lead and also a bigger stream boss kind of replenishment here. So almost, I think I can't see because I'm typing right now, guys, but I'm putting Mark into first place. That's what we do here on the fly live updates. That's right, guys. That's the kind of show we got. Good, bad, or ugly. It don't matter. That's the way we roll. So let me keep looking here, guys, and see what you guys are saying. Frame Ripper said 1 great year and okay years, average years. All right, whichever. I hear you. Thomas Glad said, damn, clown show. Thomas Garrett, we grown MCF. The kids are in bed. All right, good. Thank you. Thank you for reassuring me. I know. 2 o'clock in the morning here. Kids, they it's the summer for them, but, don't want to, wake anybody up on that side, on your guys' side of the house is there. So Frame Ripper said, this is why there needs to be no more salary cap. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to get Micah worn out. I mean, I guess to some extent, but we're using DeMarcus Lawrence, Frame Rippers, as a 3-tech on the pass rushing side. But as an outside guy, he is doing the job that not many can do like him, which is setting the edge and stopping the run, making the tackles, and still getting some pressure, but not like Micah Parsons, of course. Micah Parsons built up to 250 now. You know, I showed it earlier on earlier live streams, but I'll throw it up on there now. We're in overtime here. But Micah working out. Let me show you what I mean by this. Yeah. This was Thursday morning, guys. 250 pounds. So he's at 250 doing the gorilla chin pull-ups. And, I mean, tough to do. He's doing a lot of them at 250. This was Thursday, right? You see, as the day progresses, this is still Thursday. I mean, he is giving it his last drop. So to me, Micah is ready for a season to take a lot of the bumps and bruises at 250 now, a lot bigger than he was, and a solid, more athletic. Is that even possible? I mean, look at him here. Again, this is literally Friday, Friday or Saturday when he's doing this stuff here. Just looks so fast. I can't wait to see what Micah's bringing. And again, that's just like the speed of the rush, the acceleration, the burst. What about the footwork? Keeping him, balanced. I mean, he's going to be a terror out there on those. We could talk about training camp. I'm talking about in the NFL streets. I mean, he is a terror. He's going to be causing havoc. And then you're looking at yesterday, literally the day before getting on a plane. This is what Micah does. This was Saturday right here. You're seeing, and then it goes back to yesterday. The guy is a nonstop working machine. And again, guys, if you heard what I said the other day about what Micah said, he said, you guys don't understand what this football shit means to me. So again, he is a nonstop. This is his craft. This is his life. I would be afraid if I was any other, team going up against Micah Parsons. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. So I hear you, man. Now we got Rolando Rodriguez that's still up. You're not worried about the offensive line. How many times has been a problem protecting Dak? I'm worried about the offensive line, Rolando. But I'm worried because we don't have that guard. To me, that's the biggest. There's no depth behind this. Well, let's go maybe okay at tackle, but who's going to be the guard when we need a guard depth? Matt Farniok shit. I mean, come on. We're going to use Josh Ball or Terrence Steele or, this mix and match crap. Let's get a real guard in there, not an undrafted guy or even a fourth-round guy like Awesome Richards. We need to get our fifth-round guy. I need to see a guy who's a veteran. So that's the big worry there. But I do think, Rolando, that, and by the way, I forgot to answer about Tolbert. No news on Tolbert, although I'm hearing that he is, some people were grading the, and that was from Mark Hovsepian's comment, by the way, on Jalen Tolbert. I'm hearing that maybe he's still not running his routes as crisp as he should. Let's see how that translates onto the training camp field there, Mark. But I'm going back here to Rolando. I'm sorry jumping around. I remember that comment. I forgot to touch on that on his $5 holler earlier. But I think, here's the thing, Rolando. I think Mike McCarthy's quick passes, quick slant routes, yards after catch for the receivers, that is what's going to help Dak Prescott not have to worry about maybe needing more than 2 or 3 seconds at most to get the ball out, while you also have, and I say I get 2 seconds to get the ball out. He's going to have 2 or 3 reads for Dak, and then he's going to break the pocket every play if it has to be that way. So I think basing it on those tweaks, that's what I'm talking about, is adjusting. Basing on those tweaks, it's going to make Dak be able to adjust for the offensive line issues that we may have, interior speaking, right? So we'll see what happens. I hope it's not a big downgrade in the run side of things, but we have to wait and see. I hope I answered the question, Rolando. Cowboys at Thomas Garrett. Frame Ripper said, the fact that D-Law can't be that elite gets an edge like he's paid to be, forces Micah to be a full-time edge. Chess piece has been stationary. And I'm with you there. I wish the Cowboys would use Micah Parsons more like a queen piece, right? Not just same left edge, same left edge, same left edge. Because then now the offense can target that player and double him, chip him a lot easier than if you move him around. Now they got to figure out where he's at. Now they got to use 2 different guys every time to chip him. And now maybe miscommunication happens once or twice, and then Micah makes the play. A huge play, a game-changing play, maybe a Super Bowl-winning play. I think Dan Quinn wants to use him that way, but like Voodoo Alpha said, a.k.a. Frame Rippers, making a great point, Dan Quinn's hands are tied because, well, Jerry Jones wants to use Micah full-time there. Micah is a great pressure player, like Jerry Jones said, but you want to be a little more wise about the way you use him. I think that's Dan Quinn wants that. I think that he can't really do that because of the Marcus Lawrence's inconsistency there, right? You can say. So I'm with you there, Frame Rippers. D-Law in front office playing stupid games. Again, the fans suffer. D-line should be deep with talent. And really, some of these guys can maybe still come through, like Oso Diggy. 'Can we see Sam Williams? I think he's a guy I'm looking at, but, I think Dak Prescott, I think Dak Prescott is going to have to there was some, I think, lost opportunities with some lesser coaches over the Mike Nolan years and even in the end of the Marinelli years. So I'm with you there. Monroe Goodette said they're going to call back Jason Peters. You know, Monroe, I'm down with that. He knows our system. He's, I don't think Tyler Smith needs any more help, but they know how to work with each other, right? Why the fuck not? Monroe Goodette, I'm down with that. You down with the king? Guys, thank you for rocking with us here for another one. A little overtime session. Thank you, Mark Hovsepian, making that happen. And guys, thank you for rocking with us once again. Let me give the shout-outs to the sponsor of the week, back-to-back, like our 90s Cowboys, Skeptical Fan. He's also the membership leader, the membership man up there. And in second place, I think, on the overall board, because Mark Hovsepian is currently in first place with the 49 points in the stream ball. So he's holding out almost at the midway point. But also Mark is in first place on the overall board. Give the big shout-outs to Mark there. Big Mark. And then, of course, the Q-Man. Justin Quarles took the crown from SnugX. Justin Quarles is the top dog there on the Cash App King. He's showing off that crownage, but the guy coming for that top spot, fourth place on the overall board, but first on the Cash App, Jason Renfro. We'll see what happens, guys, as we start off this week. Training camp is just bubbling with excitement. We're at the brim of this thing. Tomorrow they check in, fines for Zack Martin. Expect all that. They got the what is it? The state of the team, state of the Cowboys press conference at Mike McCarthy, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones. We get a lot of information from them, I guess you can say. We'll try to go live for that. We'll see you then, guys. I appreciate everybody here rocking with us. We did the shout-outs already. We did the, love from from you guys in the chat, dropping the knowledge. You guys dropping the love from above, specifically tonight. Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, Clark Mullenhoek Kent, and Mark Hovsepian. Thank you all for doing your thing. Can't do this without your guys' love and support. But all good things got to come to an end tonight. It ends now, guys. Clocking out, dropping out for the night, and reloading tomorrow for another day. I guess you could say, tomorrow's day 0. Today was -1. Tomorrow's day 0. And then day 1 is Wednesday on the field practice. But tomorrow's check-in day, so it is an important day. We'll talk about it all tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about when the Joneses and McCarthy speak as well. So see you tomorrow, guys. Before we can drop out of here for the night, never forget, what do we got to do before we drop out of here? As the wife always says, we got to drop the beat. Oh, yeah. The wife dropped the beat. I did it for her. Thank you guys for dropping the knowledge, the love from above. And, hey, remind those Eagle fans. I know there's a couple in here. They're pretty cool guys, but remind the non-cool Eagle fans, the one that don't know how to do basic math. Remind them a very simple mathematical fact. No matter where you are on this earth, planet, or universe, 5 is always greater than 1. Let's make it 6 is greater than 1, right? And let's make them keep crying, chasing us their entire lives. Even before we were birthed into the NFL, they were chasing us. Thank you all again for another one in the books here, another Cowboys chat. Arriving at training camp, yeah, it's in. And with great news, great news, guys. With Tony Pollard, holla. It looks like he's good to go for no PUP and no PUP list. Same thing with Terrence Steele, though there's some reports saying he may be on there. We'll see. Jordan Lewis will be on there. Still no Zack Martin. Dak is ready, though. He's on that field checking it out. McCarthy's giddy. Let's get it on, guys. Training camp, regular season, and beyond. Here in MCF, it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house. Appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your night. Good day tomorrow. We'll see you for that press conference and definitely for the nighttime live stream here in MCF. Talk about it all. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Peace out. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.